Hi, everyone. We're back at it. Episode 33. Chris Brooks's number, Mr. 95 Yards. The All Dolphins podcast on YouTube. Miami Dolphins Insider on the Fans First Sports
I finally
Network.
learned his number and his name. He played pretty well today, too.
He did. He had a very nice run up the middle on what it would have been a 6-yard touchdown. I'm pretty sure that should have been a touchdown. I don't know if we're going to count as a touchdown, but it was a nice run nonetheless. And let's first begin by answering the question you pose on Twitter. No, Omar, you are not mean. You are somebody who is very direct and not afraid to ruffle feathers to express your opinion. And that's how I deal with things as well. So
I try to be fair. I asked the question because it was said to me, be nice. And I understood exactly where it came from. And this is something that, Jason Jenkins's role, the great late Jason Jenkins's role was the Omar Corraller. And he'd reel me back in whenever I become, he used to have this thing where he'd say, he'd call me the mad rapper. If anybody knows the Biggie skits about the mad rapper, so he'd say when I become the mad rapper and I start talking about the Dolphins and I'm talking all negative, like hating on them, he'd say, "All right, mad rapper," and then I'd be like, "All right, cool. I gotta calm down and put things in perspective." And so it was said to me, "Be nice" about Liam Eichenberg, and I was like, "Okay, I can do that," because understand, and let me put this in context.
Go ahead.
The second week of practice, and I don't know how we kind of group up this thing because we're doing 3 days on, day off, 3 days on, day off, 3 days on, day off. So it's kind of like the third week, but really mathematically, it's kind of still the second week. Am I correct?
It's day 9, practice 7 today. Thursday, August 3rd.
So the second week of training camp practice is usually when the team starts trying out others at starting spots, and they start to sort of test or send messages and test where they are. I remember my first year was Matt Roth. No, that he got a message sent to him. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't pick up your play, the starting spot isn't yours. And from that point, it's always been that second week of training camp, the week before the exhibition season. And a message was clearly being sent to Liam Eichenberg, who I can justify and say I named him my top guy in a position battle in something that you read last night or yesterday morning. 10 position battles. You can find it on All Dolphins. And the top position
alldolphins.com.
Alldolphins.com. The top position battle, there are actual position battles in camp. People don't realize this, and I didn't really think about it, but there are starting spots that are up for grabs in camp. When you're talking about the start,
not many. Go ahead.
Liam Eichenberg, Isaiah Wynn. Okay. Then you got the boundary job between Noah, Cam Smith, Eli Apple. Okay.
Absolutely.
Then you got the starting strong safety spot. It's not really a battle yet, but when Brandon Jones gets cleared, you think it's Deshaun Elliott?
Sean Elliott. Yeah, I thought it was Deshaun Elliott from the time they signed him. Understanding that he's got a lot of starting experience, number one, and he's better in coverage than Brandon Jones, who is going to hate to hear this, but I'm also, like you, very direct. That's not his forte. He's gotten better at it, but that's not his forte. And this scheme demands more coverage from your safeties and maybe blitzing ability, which is where Brandon Jones shines.
Okay. Fourth receiver, Braxton Berrios, Eric Uzukama, who got injured today. So that might shift the dynamic of that competition. And I know people will be like, well, what happened to Robbie Chosen? You said he was going to be so great. And I don't know what happened to Robbie Chosen, to be honest with you. He's not getting reps. And here's an example of me being kind. I have not brought the question up to Mike McDaniel, even though I want to.
You know what the answer would be? The answer would be that, it's the way the plays work out, getting guys reps. He's not going to tell you, listen, we know what we have in Robbie Chosen. We know what he can do. We want to see other guys out there because Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are catching.
But is that what it is?
I'm not sure what it is. It's like,
Okay, well,
to
don't
me,
we
it's
need an
clearly
answer?
falling out of favor. And just a quick correction, because you mentioned for the number 4 spot, that would be for the number 3 spot. No, Braxton Berrios.
Yes, yeah, number 3. I meant number
Okay,
3.
okay, and I think he's clearly the number 3. By the way, we kind of dove further ahead. I want, if you don't mind, let's take care of the bookkeeping stuff first. The guys we didn't see out there, of course, Jalen Ramsey again was out there on crutches, chatting up with some of the coaches before practice.
Coaching up.
Keon Crossan again not out there. I have it in my list here right here. Ethan Bonner, rookie free agent cornerback, was not out there. Malik Reed did not practice. We saw him. He did some stuff on the side. And then you mentioned Eric Izukama sustaining some kind of minor injury. Don't know exactly what we're looking at. It appeared to me Dan Feeney at one point got kind of dinged a little bit. I don't want to speculate on what it was. And then Bradley Chubb, most significantly at one point, got up pretty slowly and then was doing a whole lot of shaking of the arm.
Yeah.
So that takes care of that. And then Brandon Jones, Trill Williams, again in a red jersey. And it was Jalen Waddle who had the orange jersey for his practice performance of Tuesday.
And it should be mentioned that Trill Williams and Brandon Jones participated in 11-on-11s, but in red jerseys.
I don't know about you, but what I'm going to remember from this practice is flags. Oh my God, flag. 5 false start penalty. Today was the first day that officials were at practice, and there were 5 false starts. There were a couple of other penalties. There was a DPI on Kader Kohu against Tyreek Hill. And I believe that was on that half field receiver versus DB drill. I think it was.
No, that was 11-on-11s because
11?
I saw it
Okay.
and I wasn't watching half field drills.
Okay, but what stood out again was 5 false starts or maybe illegal motion thrown in there as well. And that's, again, for a team that struggled with pre-snap penalties last year, yes, it's practice, it's training camp. You still don't want to see it.
No. First day refs. I don't know why refs weren't there last week, but hey, you can do whatever you want to do. I know Steve Ross isn't crying about paying refs for the day.
Yeah.
So
It's not like they're getting $2,000 for a 2-hour practice either. I mean, that's, or maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some reason I'm guessing they're not getting.
Coaches shouldn't be responsible for throwing flags, which is what they were doing the first day.
Correct. With Vic Fangio was throwing flags yesterday. It was pretty funny. Or Tuesday. It was pretty funny. I think you and I both had kind of the same stars of practice. Christian Wilkins again, Zach Sealer. Again, you and I had a discussion before practice where I'm telling you that guy is balling out like crazy.
He is. He's playing well. I'm not about to, and I like Sealer, but I'm not about to. We had this discussion privately, and I will throw Adam Beasley's name, and I'm in the minority. You guys think that Zach Sealer is better than Emmanuel Ogbah, and I say bull crap. And you don't do 9 sacks back-to-back years and lead the league in pass deflections by accident. Now, do I like what he's doing now? No, I don't at all. None of it. I don't. And he's addressed it so I can talk about it. He's standing up. His hands not in the ground, and he's not a stand-up player to me. Now, maybe he shuts me up, and maybe he's going to be the stand-up edge-setting guy because that hasn't really been Jalen Phillips' forte. Let's be transparent about it. It's a reason why he didn't play early in his rookie year. They didn't like it. They didn't trust him. Now, that was before Jalen Phillips became a Greek god physically. So, who's to know where that stands? But I'm sorry. I take money out of the equation, which is what everybody's obsessed with. Everybody's bothered by the fact that Emmanuel Ogbah makes $15 million a year. Okay, he earned that $15 million a year. He was going to get it from Miami, or he's going to get it from the Ravens. Miami decided to step up and give it to him. So I want Emmanuel Ogbah's hand in the ground. I do. And I would rather play him next to Wilkins than I would Zach Sealer. And this is not a disrespectful thing to Zach Sealer. I love Zach Sealer. I have a great deal of respect for him. I think he's a very good player. But I think Ogbah's good against the run for a defensive end. Yes, a 4-3 defensive end. And he's far superior against the pass than anybody on this team other than Chubb and Phillips. And he might still have Phillips.
Okay, I don't want to. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to rehash the conversation we had yesterday because we discussed Ogba at length, and it's not like he did anything that was really noteworthy today. So okay, so
he made a play today. He did make a play today.
He did the play. Was it
it was a stop at the line of scrimmage or TFL?
Okay, but he's not been terribly noticeable.
Yeah, and it was on like Achane.
Okay, which is okay. And since we're talking about Achane, by all means, feel free to share your observations on the backers drill.
For those who don't know, I missed all of the fancy one-on-one, high-flying, deep passes because when they do those groups, the offensive linemen and the defensive linemen go one-on-one, and then also linebackers versus running backs, and sometimes tight end. And my obsession, I've said one thing about Achane from the minute they drafted him. If he can't pass block, he can't play for me. He can't play because you have a fragile quarterback. You're not going to put a back in the backfield who cannot protect that fragile quarterback when teams blitz. And that running back is responsible for stopping that player from injuring Tua. Well, I've watched him for 2 days in that drill. He won the first rep that I saw the first day again, but it was against Aubrey Miller. No disrespect to Aubrey Miller, but
no disrespect there.
But he is the second smallest linebacker.
I understand.
And the most unproven of the linebackers. And
Nelson's the most unproven. But okay, we digress. Sorry, go ahead.
Who's the most unproven?
Garrett Nelson. See, you don't even know the guy's name.
I couldn't tell you who he was or what his number is.
Or actually the newcomer Mike Rose, who the Dolphins just signed Thursday morning to fill up a roster. They made 2 acquisitions very quickly. Mike Rose, a linebacker who was with the Chiefs in camp in 2022, got waived, then was out of the NFL. And the other one is Miles Dorn, who's a safety with some special teams experience in the NFL. Whose father, if you're old enough to remember, is Torrin Dorn, who used to play DB for the Raiders and the Rams. Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
The point that I am making is it was against Aubrey Miller, who I didn't even know the other guy, Garrett Nelson's name, because you know how I rock. If you don't make plays, I don't know who you are. Right. I do know Aubrey Miller because he's making plays, so I'm not trying to disrespect him, but he's small. So a small running back blocked a small linebacker. Okay, cool. Day one. Now we fast forward to today, and I got an opportunity to watch every back get multiple reps. Achane took 4 reps, and he won 3 of his 4 reps. The only rep that he didn't win was to Jerome Baker, who really didn't power him. He basically sidestepped him. He's like, all right, Rook, boom, I'm out, I'm gone.
Yeah, but it wasn't an Ole type of block situation either. I mean, Achane got his hands on him and slowed him down a little bit, but Baker was able, because I saw that rep, and Baker was able to get around him a little bit.
Yeah. Baker just sidestepped him a little. It wasn't like he powered through him. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking for. Can a linebacker power through Achane? And so far, the answer has been no. And that's encouraging. And I can tell you, he's doing better than Savon Ahmed. I haven't seen him win a rep yet.
Well, here's the other question, though, Omar. I mean, if we're going to be honest about it, do you look at this Dolphin roster and see any running back on that team right now where you go, that guy's great at blitz pickup? Jeff Wilson, maybe a little bit, but
no. Do you count? Do you count Alec Ingold?
No, he's a fullback. That's not the same thing. He's a fullback.
At this point, he might be my 3rd down back.
I know you. By the way, just and then a public service announcement. Omar loves him some Alec Ingold. And he's not wrong. The guy's having a great camp, and he looks like somebody where, again, the role of the fullback, even in this offense, usually is very, very minimal. If Alec Ingold wound up getting twice as many snaps as he did last season,
absolutely,
Omar wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. That's how good the guy looked. The guy
he's a top 10 performer of camp so far.
Without question. If we're going to mention Achane, though, we have to mention, because he's a guy who figures to be used in the passing game. There was a play where he had a pass in the end zone, which was not a great pass. It was a little bit behind him, but it was eminently catchable, and he failed to come up with it. That was disappointing.
Aubrey Miller was on coverage too. So they go against each other, it's cute to watch. And it's true. I
it's
thought
cute. I like the word. It's cute.
I thought they were going to fight on Tuesday. I really did. They were going back and forth, and Miller was pushing him, tried to push him Achane down, and then they come back the next day and they're like buddy. Hell, they might be roommates for all I know, but they are going at it, and it's very entertaining to watch. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Christian Wilkins, Liam Eichenberg, but it's entertaining, you know.
And at times Zach Sealer, Connor Williams. Cause I'll tell you, the times I've kind of zoned in and noticed Connor Williams and Zach Sealer is giving him a hell of a time. And that's not necessarily great. I mean, it's great with everything in practice. You know, it's great to see the defense, you know, sometimes succeed, but that means the offense is doing something wrong, and vice versa. And going back to the running backs, I don't know about you, nobody really stood out today. No. Wide receiver, to me, my biggest takeaway today is against Braxton Berrios. Love his work in the middle of the field. He had a touchdown pass where he easily beat Justin Bethel in the middle of the end zone. Nice throw by Mike White. And then he had another play where he made a nice catch on a low pass on a play where, not that it matters, but on a play where it would have been a sack.
He's a number 3.
No, without question.
I think probably only an injury can kind of derail him, because you know he's either going to be the number 3 or number 4 because he's the punt returner. So, and the question is, do you have a guy who can go outside and play the boundary when Tyreek is going inside the slot? Because you're not going to put Berrios in boundary, are you?
No. Cedric Wilson. He's had a solid camp. I mean, I know. Yeah, this is what Omar, I am going to tell you, remember what? Be nice. Cedric Wilson has had a pretty good camp. Has he not?
No. No.
Wow. Hard.
No.
Hard.
What is, like, he caught a dump down pass that he turned up for 30 today because nobody was even around him. Okay.
Had a hell of a nice snag over the middle once we moved inside on Tuesday on a high throw. I don't remember who the quarterback was, might have been Skyler or whatever, but that was a nice snag. And he's caught a lot more passes than Robbie Chosen has caught.
Oh, way more, but who gets open? Don't act like Robbie Chosen isn't getting open.
I haven't noticed him open where the quarterbacks are intentionally looking away from him.
Quarterback's not throwing to him. He's barely practicing. But I'm sorry, stack it up receiver for receiver. If with an equal understanding of the offense, Robbie Chosen smokes Cedric Wilson any day.
Who's had the better camp?
Okay,
I'm not arguing with you that Robbie Chosen's a better wide receiver.
How many reps has Robbie Chosen had in 11-on-11? Maybe 20.
How many has Cedric Wilson had?
Probably 50.
22?
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Cedric Wilson was with the starting unit today. Oh, oops, not supposed to say that. So, like,
he may or may not have been. Well, erase what Omar just said. That's.
But yeah, look, like, who's like. You act like Robbie Chosen's getting. I'm not defending him because he has not done anything. He's caught 2 passes in 7 practices. Yeah, but he might be at 20 snaps in 11-on-11s.
He does. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so maybe I exaggerate a little bit that Wilson's gotten more reps. I don't want to say
more. Wilson might have 20 in 1 practice.
Maybe. Okay. By the way, we should point out that Robbie Chosen was on the receiving end on a play that resulted in interception today. This was the half field or 3-on-3 passing drill. It was a deep pass from Tua. Xavier Howard, Trill Williams were in coverage, and somebody made a very good point in the media room that chances are if it's in a game, that pass isn't thrown.
Yeah, Tua has to throw the ball. So he has to throw the ball. He's got what is it? 2. I didn't watch the drill at all. People are like, how do you not watch the drill? Oh my God. Well, I got to be the guy who actually pays attention to the offensive line and the protecting, because when your quarterback gets hurt, you'll be crying, oh man, y'all didn't tell us this guy sucked. No, I did.
Just a second, you just said you were watching backs on backers. Which is it?
No, I was watching back and forth.
I was going there. It's basically to the left was the passing drill, in the middle the backs versus backers, completely to the right is the lineman, and I'm going with my binoculars. I'm going like, in all three spots, trying to catch as many plays as I can catch, and obviously we're going to miss some. But that was one. I'm trying to think if there were any other plays. Oh, I will say this, and I mentioned, I don't know if it was this coincidence. It's not me justifying what I said earlier. Deshaun Elliott in that drill, which again is a little bit skewed toward the offense, not nearly as much when it's one-on-one, but a little bit skewed to the offense. Deshaun Elliott, I saw him have 2 reps and he had 2 PBUs. So props to him. That was very impressive. And speaking of PBUs, we have to mention our rookie, our very impressive rookie. It's another practice. So
Is he our dude?
Cam Smith. Oh,
because I wasn't nice. I put him in stock down, and Dolphin fans got all in their feelings.
Because he wasn't coming up with interception. The dude has been balling. Man, has he been good. Oh my, you have to think about this.
My definition of balling would be, I always put things in context. Remember that training camp where Jimmy Wilson was a rookie and he like had an interception every day of his first training camp, and you don't remember that.
No, which maybe tells me it wasn't that impressive even with picks. I don't know.
Okay, well, context. Sean Smith, when he came out, rookie starter, was outperforming Vontae Davis, had interceptions, and then went to the exhibition season, the regular season, could catch the ball, but he had an interception, ton of interceptions in practice. That's balling. Like Cam Smith. And I was thinking about this because somebody said, oh man, Omar's singling out rookies. And I'm not saying he's practicing poorly, because he's not. He's very good. I think I think tomorrow he should be the starter. That's my thought process. When you play that well, you should get the call up.
I mean,
you should get the call up. And that's how Nick Needham got his call up. He had a good day of practice. He got the call up. They see how you respond. They throw you into the deep end of the pool, see how you respond. Cam Smith is, I don't know if I would put him on my rookie standout wall in terms of guys, and I actually tweeted out the amount of guys that I remember standing out as rookies.
Wow.
But he's been very good.
But forget picks. Tell me the coverage isn't very good all the time.
I can't forget picks.
Wow. And there have been 3 picks. First of all, how many?
3 picks.
He had like
3
one
picks
maybe.
in 7 days.
So what?
3 picks in 7 days. You're
Okay,
correct.
so it's not like everybody's getting picks. And he's had like maybe one, I think he had one play where he should have come up with a pick where he jumped a route. I think it was John Lovett, maybe the fullback. But outside of that, I mean, he's getting in position, and if the quarterback is not like throwing a dart right at the spot, like today he had a pass breakup, Mike White to River Craycraft in the corner of the end zone, and from our angle, it looks like it wasn't perfect. It was maybe a tad behind.
Well, it's a great play. The Dolphins put it out as a highlight. It's a great.
Correct, and then Cam Smith dives and then knocks the ball away. I mean, what more do you want? Jesus!
I want interceptions. I want Xavier Howard.
Was that an interceptable ball?
No.
Okay, I mean.
He leads the team in PBUs. No question. Very, very solid coverage.
Okay. For
I need
a
turnovers.
rookie in his first camp. I mean,
for a rookie in his first camp, I need turnovers. You want to be on that mantle as standout rookies. Give me a Jarvis Landry rookie camp performance.
You do understand though that with the exception of Xavier Howard, who's ridiculous when it comes to ball skills, there's a randomness to interceptions. Okay,
what is this
for
randomness?
Cornerbacks. Okay, it takes facing a quarterback who's going to be willing to take a big chance in your area. Number one, and then it takes when you get the chance to get the turnover, you get it again, unless you're like X, where basically every ball is a jump ball because he's so good at it. So to me, the fact that he doesn't have picks, and you just mentioned of any cornerback on the team, who's been the most impressive?
He's been the most impressive.
And he's a rookie. That's not, I mean, one more.
That's fair. Has he outperformed Xavier? Yes. But Xavier's also going against Tyreek Hill nearly every snap.
Fair. Completely.
If you put him against, show me what he does against Tyreek. Show me.
No. What I would tell you right now is if I don't know any of the names, any of the players, whatever, my eyes tell me the best cornerback on the team is X, and then the second best cornerback on the team is Cam Smith.
Probably.
And at this point right now, considering he's a rookie second round pick, I mean,
That's pretty impressive.
major props to him. Okay, speaking of cornerbacks, we're gonna mention the play. There was a long completion. I'm sure it's gonna be on the Dolphins social media at one point. It's a long completion from Tua to Tyreek, and both you and I at first thought, because our eyes weren't necessarily right on him at the time, and we've seen a replay of it since, that it looked like the Dolphins were in a zone, and that the offense caught the defense, kind of napping or threw it.
That's what it looked like, but
yeah. And the replay showed us it's Noah who was pressing against Tyreek and went down.
Yeah, and Tua dropped it right in that bucket, baby. Right.
I'm gonna be a Tua hater here, and that's okay. I'm gonna wear the badge. Is that what you got from that play? That it was a great pass when Tyreek, there's nobody 10 yards around him? Are you serious? No offense.
No, it's a zone. Where else are you gonna throw that? Tyreek dropped right into the zone. Tua caught the ball.
It wasn't a zone. It was because Igbenogany fell. That's what you
so
thought.
If Igbenogany fell and Tyreek was just like, oh, I've got nobody on me, he's going deep, right? No, he went to the left corner and he sat it down. It was a route.
This is where I don't get it. I'm like, and I'm going to preface it by saying Tua was the most impressive of the three quarterbacks, had the best passing day. But it's like what I don't get, and what always gets me, is the unnecessary praise for things that are very basic. The cornerback fell. Tyreek's open by 10 yards. He got him the ball.
Okay, but it was a chunk play, right?
What quarterback in the NFL doesn't get him the ball on that play?
A lot, Ryan Tannehill. It was a 25-yard pass, right? That's a chunk play. 16 plus is a chunk play, right?
Quote unquote explosive play for passing plays is 25.
Right. It's a chunk play, 16 plus 16, 25. It was a 25-yard pass play.
But again, what's the degree of difficulty for the quarterback on that play? And I can't.
It's a 7. It's a 7.
Oh my God. To me, it's like a 2. I mean, can we just talk about some of the other nice throws?
That throw is not a 2. It's on the replay.
God,
you go see it for yourself, fans.
I mean, please do.
I forget. The Dolphins might have put it up.
Believe what you want, Dolphin fans. I am not a Tua hater. I just don't like the unnecessarily hyperbole. Tua had 5 better throws than this over the middle. That one was all about Noah falling down and Tyreek becoming wide open
and dropped right into a zone where Javon Holland couldn't get there in time.
Javon Holland was like 15 yards away coming from the middle. There was no
dropped into an area. When I say zone, I didn't mean zone coverage. I mean dropped into an area. Bro, those sideline passes, Tua throws, man, those things are money.
When the guy's completely wide open, yeah. Out of 32 NFL quarterbacks, and I can't believe you keep dumping on Ryan Tannehill, the poor guy. I mean, man.
Can he throw that?
Yes. No. 32 quarterbacks out of 32 in the NFL make that throw. Come on. And again, Tua, I'm going to say it because it needs to be said, Tua had some really nice throws in practice. I like the way he threw.
Tyreek now. It needs to be said.
What? It needs to be said. I mean, Tua had some really, really nice throws in practice.
Tyreek is practicing better, too.
The middle. Please let's not harp and talk about what a brilliant play that was, because I'm sorry, there was nothing. Anyway, the other quarterbacks, Mike White, Skylar Thompson, didn't notice anything.
Listen, we had a 6-sack performance, 5 penalties, interception, defense dominated day. I was not surprised because it's seeming to create a pattern and a rhythm, whereas the day before the break is kind of a scrimmage-like situation. Whatever unit wants to own that day. The first break, it was the defense with that 12-sack performance. The second break was Tuesday's practice, where the offense did whatever they wanted to do. And that Chris Brooks 95-yard touchdown. And even Mike McDaniel said in the press conference today, he's like, I forget what he was talking about, Liam Eichenberg, and it was a situation where he basically said he was talking about Liam Eichenberg, who got demoted today, kind of demoted. Well, the competition got opened up. Let's put it that way. And he basically said, to quote my alldolphins.com story, what's going to happen when the D-line turns up today? This is 30 minutes before practice. He knew that the D-line was going to turn up today because they got embarrassed. Christian Wilkins ain't going to take that. And they're going to wreak havoc today. And they did. They owned the day.
Speaking of Mike McDaniel and his presser, something else, I wanted a clarification on what goes into selecting the player who gets the orange jersey. And I asked specifically, is it strictly practice performance or are there other factors involved? And what he said basically is, yes, it comes down to the practice performance, but not simply in terms of making plays, but making plays in terms of the coaching points and adhering to them and what they're trying to emphasize on this particular day. So that's why, and this is where you went back at McDaniel after he left, that it still should have been David Long for
David Long got robbed.
One of the recent practice. They gave it to Javon Holland, that one.
First padded practice, David Long's laying the hit stick, all practice. He got robbed.
For example, I think both of us would expect, if it's based strictly on practice performance, Christian Wilkins to have the orange jersey tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're gonna listen to Hamilton all day tomorrow. Like Hamilton and Bobby Brown and TLC.
Very eclectic. He's very eclectic. It might be somebody else though who did something that McDaniel really liked in terms of what the coaching points were for this particular practice.
We definitely know it's not gonna be Liam Eichenberg.
Ouch.
I need to be nice.
Be nice.
Okay.
But hold on. Be nice, but you're not wrong. Go ahead.
What I liked about what Eichenberg said is that he said, I gotta do what they're coaching me to do. And even Mike McDaniel said it earlier in the practice. He said, you basically need to, like, Men in Black, wave a wand to your eyes and forget everything every offensive line coach has ever taught you, because when things get hard, you go back to what those fundamentals are. Well, we don't want you going back to those fundamentals. We want you going back to our fundamentals and our principles and the things that we're asking you to do. Correct. Do those things. And even if you get beat doing those things, we'll be better off for it, because as a line, we'll be doing the right thing. But if you revert back to your core fundamentals and lean on them, you're not going to be doing what we ask you to do. And it seems to me that's what the issue Liam Eichenberg is having. And I don't know how this is going to play out.
No, I don't. But is this the part where I point out that because this is often a talking point at other positions, that the offensive line for the Dolphins has had 4 different coaches over the past 4 seasons. Steve Marshall in 2020, actually it's more than that, but for like Austin Jackson, for example, has had Steve Marshall in 2020, Lem Jean-Pierre in 2021, Matt Applebaum in 2022, now Butch Barry. For Eichenberg, it's the last 3. If they have all different coaching points and all that, at some point, does a guy go, who am I supposed to listen to now? I'm not saying that plays a role in it. Bottom line is Liam Eichenberg has to be better, first certainly, than he has been so far in training camp, for the Dolphins to not have a major question mark or potential upheaval at that left guard spot.
We are getting to the point where we're going to have joint practices. Obviously, this is a precursor. The rotation is a precursor for, we might see some change during these joint practices, because Liam Eichenberg is going to have an opportunity. He's going to have first crack at that job. He's going to have every opportunity.
Second crack at that job.
Performs against the Grady Jarretts of the world will dictate whether you keep that job.
That's a tough assignment right there, because I do.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. We're sitting here and saying, well, it's Christian Wilkins. Well, every team's got a Christian Wilkins.
Correct.
And
yeah, and that can't be an excuse for like, well, yeah, he's getting beat by a good player, right? Because he's not the last.
I mean, Christian Wilkins is Christian Wilkins, but every team's got a Christian Wilkins. So, and how they handle the adversity and the challenges, the mental fortitude that they have. Like, I like Austin Jackson's mentality. I like his demeanor. I like his mindset. Austin Jackson's like, I know what you said, and I'm going to prove you wrong. And, Liam's right now kind of past that. He's trying to block out all of the stuff coming at him. And it's tough for him mentally, where Austin Jackson's being the aggressor and he's taking it on. And I like that approach. I know if it's going to pan out. I do not. But, it's interesting to hear Austin be confident. And he's playing like he's confident. So maybe he's sat down and talked to a sports psychologist. But whatever he's doing, it's paying off for him. Now we will get the reality check against the Falcons.
But here's the thing about Austin Jackson that I don't think gets stressed nearly enough, besides the fact that he worked on his body, because he looks good.
Yes.
I mean, he looks like last year was his first shot in the NFL as a right tackle. And it wasn't so we didn't know what he was going to be as a right tackle in this scheme. And we never got to find out because he got hurt in the opener where he was out for 10 weeks and he got hurt the first game he came back.
Right.
So is it possible that maybe all along Austin Jackson was going to become better because this scheme is a better fit and he was at right tackle as opposed to being on the left side or at guard? And then you tack on top of that, now he's got more knowledge of the offense and he worked on his body and maybe he was always a good fit for right tackle. I'm not saying, this is not me saying Pro Bowl, here we come, Austin Jackson, but he's kind of an unknown at right tackle. And to me, so he certainly looks the part, is what I would say.
No, he looks the part right now. We shall know in Atlanta and in Houston. I remember it was Chicago. I had to sound the alarms. You're in trouble. Like, you better figure something out because it ain't gonna work. And it does not look good. And the next day they traded for what's that offensive lineman, Ellis, the kid from Carolina that basically
Greg Ellis. Wow. Man.
Yeah.
He's now in Houston, by the way, in case Dolphin fans were wondering. Signed with the Texans in the offseason.
We'll see. The joint practice will show us a lot, but Saturday you've got a scrimmage. If you don't have a ticket, or I'm sure there are tickets available because there's 60-something thousand seats. So if you want to see the action for yourself, definitely go out there at Hard Rock Stadium.
And tickets are free. You just have to sign up for them.
Tickets are free. You just have to sign up for them. If you're in South Florida, it's a free activity. Why not take your kids? But it'll be hot. We're white and drink a lot of water. But other than that, I'm curious to see how the offense responds tomorrow because that's how this thing is going. And then we'll take it into the scrimmage on Saturday. And whoever wins that scrimmage is going to have the training camp trophy. And then it's going to be focused on joint practices against the Falcons and take it to a game.
Yeah,
Love it.
By the way, just as we wrap up, for the record, those joint practices against the Falcons are next Tuesday and Wednesday. After the Dolphins this is kind of weird to me, also have 2 straight days off, Sunday and Monday, then the 2 days of joint practices, and then the game next Friday night. So that's going to wrap it up for practice number 7, training camp day 9. He is Omar and Poupart. Thanks for watching.